Hello and happy Sunday. Welcome back to Go Ask Sawyer. This is your host, Jamie, and welcome to our new journaling series where we are kind of diving deep into who we are, uncovering different layers of us through acts of journaling. And we started a mini series last week. The overall title is The Truth of It All, A Journey into Emotional Honesty. And this week and next week, we are looking at ourselves, the lies that we tell ourselves. This one was hard and easy for me. Easy because I have been doing this kind of work for a long time. And I know, I'm very aware of how I sabotage myself, how I lied to myself. But it was just kind of seeing the patterns happening again that was really hard to look at. So that's what we are diving into this week. As always, we are going to start our podcast with a 3-minute brain dump into our journals. So grab that notebook and something to write with or your notes app, wherever you're at. I'm going to ask you to press pause and set a timer for 3 minutes and just write about anything. And as I've said before, song lyrics, a letter to someone, a letter to yourself, or just start telling yourself about your day. Whatever is in your brain, do not judge yourself and just write. So I'm going to ask you to pause here, set that timer for 3 minutes, and I'll see you back. Welcome back. I hope that was therapeutic for you. My journaling has been extremely transformative, especially this last year when I really got serious with it since last November. So I do hope that brings you something. So let's get into the lies that we tell ourselves. And I don't have a Bible verse for us today. I found a book I have, A Gentle Reminder by Bianca Saparino. And this book is just great, kind of about how you deserve to be loved, how to move on from breakups or hard situations. And the quote I'm going to share with you that she says is, "The bravest thing you will ever do is learn how to love the things that made you you." And that's really what the series is about. Really learning how to love all of those parts of ourselves that maybe we are not ready to face. I also saw this quote today. Someone said that the more that we heal and build ourselves from the inside out, the stronger and greater our foundation is. So then no matter what happens on the outside of us, we always know who we are at our core. So as we move into our episode today, let's just think about self-denial, rationalization, and emotional avoidance. We often think of lying as something we do to others. But what about the lies we tell ourselves? What are those lies that we tell ourselves every single day? I'm fine. I used to use this so often. You say you're fine when you really aren't. I think I used to say I was fine because I wasn't ready to really feel my feelings at the time. And maybe with the person I was with, I didn't feel safe enough to share what the issues were. So it was easier to say I'm fine. It's fine. It's all going to be fine, when really it is not fine at all. We tell ourselves it's not that big of a deal, right? We go through something and we gaslight ourselves into thinking why are we so upset about it? It's really not that big of a deal, when really it is. When we tell ourselves it's not a big deal, we're really holding back that sensitive part of ourselves that wants to come forward and cry and scream or punch a wall. Now, I'm not suggesting punching a wall. There's lots of kickboxing classes for that. But when we tell ourselves it's not that big of a deal, we're pushing down our own feelings. We're letting almost ourselves know that it's not safe to really let those feelings out with ourselves, not even with other people, ourselves. When someone does something hurtful to us, we say, oh, they didn't mean it like that. Again, another way to push down our feelings that we have, play down my hurt. But again, it's all to myself, because this episode today and next week is really about you. It's not about what we're telling other people. And then again, the other one, well, that's just the way life is. We go through lessons, we go through ups and downs, but when are we just going to stop and be no, that really sucked. That really hurt. Or, I tell myself Jamie, that's not fine. You don't have to use my name. You can use yours. But Does that sound familiar to you? These are all micro lies, tiny little lies that in the moment probably seem harmless or helpful. Like they're getting us out of, we don't want to wallow in a situation. So they're keeping us from getting stuck. They protect our pain. But it's all short term because it costs us our truth, our connection, and the healing in the long run. These last few months, I've run from pain and I've forced myself to sit in pain. And it's the sitting in it. I understand no one likes it, but it is really hard. Like it is really hard to be like, I am not fine. And then to uncover that. So when we lie to ourselves, we're doing a disservice in that we're not really allowing ourselves to heal and then be free and hear ourselves. So often we want other people to hear us, but if we're not even hearing ourselves, we need to understand our own voice and our own pain. And this is where we get into the emotional gaslighting. So I am also really good at this. Gaslighting, as we all know, like that cool new term everyone loves to throw around, is a form of psychological manipulation where someone is subtly made to question their own perception of reality, memory, or sanity. This can involve denying or distorting reality, a lot of times minimizing experiences. Again, it wasn't that big of a deal. That's not how it happened. I've been going through a lot of this lately, like questioning my own reality, like me against me, not me against anyone else, like me against me, like questioning who I really am and what is really happening and what was really happening. But again, that was because I had minimized feelings for a while, and I had minimized my own needs. I had shifted blame, and I had so many doubts and uncertainty in certain places that I just became to question myself. And the more I questioned myself, the more I felt like I didn't even know my own truth, which I think is the scariest thing, because then you're just like, how do I trust my body? It's telling me this and that. Or in reality, I am seeing something directly in front of me, right? But my body is telling me something is not true. But because in the reality of it, if I'm looking at the situation for what it is, right? Like, let's say we ask a friend, hey, I heard you went to dinner with 2 other friends. That kind of hurt my feelings. And the friend is like, that didn't even happen. Now, again, that's the gaslighting toward me. I understand that. But you start to question your reality. Like, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm being too much. Maybe I'm being jealous. Maybe I'm being insecure. When like everything in your body is like, nope, you know exactly what's happening. Or when you ask a friend or a loved one like, hey, why don't you post about me on social media? And they kind of get upset about it. So then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing too much. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. You tell yourself it's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm making too big of a deal about it. I'm lying to myself. I am pushing my feelings down. So I'm telling myself in this weird way that I can't even trust my best friend. And when I say my best friend, I mean me. And that's been something in my prior relationship and this current situationship that I was in. Like, that's something that I've really had to struggle with myself. Like, I was the first to go, meaning the feelings and the thoughts and the wants that I had, I would push them away because I felt like I was needing too much or wanting too much. I was minimizing my needs. I was ignoring my intuition. I was talking myself out of things that I knew to be true for myself. And I mean, that's something I never want to happen again, but that's part of this process, really sitting with yourself and saying, like, where in my life have I said it's fine when it's not been fine? Where in my life have I told myself half truths? Where in my life have I said, well, they didn't really mean it like that. I'll give them another chance. When on the inside, you're like, dude, you're lying to yourself. Like, this is not the truth that you want. And I do realize that I am bringing other people and situations into this, but I feel like so often I lie to myself more when I'm with someone than when I'm just single, right? Ready to mingle. It's easier for me to be completely truthful with myself and stand in it when it's just me. But when I want the validation from someone else, it's easier for me to lie to myself, put myself second, and put my needs somewhere else, right? So I have a few truths that I know I need to sit with, and that's where I want you to think this week. Where are lies that you've been telling yourself? And the biggest thing, and I think I reached out to a few friends this week, but what are some truths you've been avoiding facing because they feel too risky? And what would happen if you honored that quiet voice inside your head? Telling ourselves the truth is a radical act of self-love. It's a radical act of self-love. It's not always comfortable, but neither is living in that lie that just doesn't fit. And then that's when you, again, go out of alignment. So what is a truth that you need to face that you might not be ready to face? I have a few that I wrote down, so I will go first. One of my hard truths right now is I am wasting time doing meaningless things when I could be more focused on my finances, my mind, and my body, and getting myself out of toxic situations. A part of me still feels like I'm not worthy of deep love, which is why I still overgive to prove to other people that I am worthy. And this is a truth that I'm kind of grappling with. This is another one I've been grappling with. Living my life currently 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Half of me being committed to this new version of myself that I want to be, but the other half holding on to old patterns and comforts. When I do this, I'm telling myself that I'm not ready. I tell myself that I am not worthy, and I'm kind of lying to myself like it's okay. When I do this, the energy in my body can't move, and so then I'm creating this like frustration and confusion. If I cannot commit and be loyal to my future self, I will always stay stuck in this comfortable person that I am, which gets stuck in toxic cycles, which puts other people before herself, and which cannot lock in. And I think it still hurts that she, and when I say she, there's a few she's, didn't choose to fight for me. So on that note, what are some truths that you need to sit with and be super radical about? Write those down. Until next week, we're talking about who are you without the mask? Stay cute, stay loud, keep dancing, even when everyone is watching. Peace.